It is 11:41. Listen to Ben Kentish here on LBC. We're talking not about health this hour, but about housing. I'd say an equally important issue, but one that gets a fraction of the political attention and the media coverage and the column inches and the airtime that the NHS does. So let's talk more about it. How is the housing crisis affecting you? What have you had to sacrifice? What has it stopped you doing? What have you had to give up because of your housing situation? And how different would your life be, your circumstances be, if you had the secure, decent home of your own that we all aspire to? Louise is in Southwark. Hi, Louise.
Hello, how are you doing, Ben?
I'm good, thank you. Are you okay, Louise?
I am good, yeah.
Good. You want to talk to me about leasehold?
Yeah, well, you're talking about owning your home and renting a home. I feel like leasehold's in the middle. So I bought a leasehold flat with my other half just over 10 years ago now in London.
Yeah.
It was a bit under 300 grand, which is a huge amount of money in some parts of the country, not so much in London. And the amount that we pay for it now, renting would be, at least I would feel like I had an element of control and could walk away from it. I was renting for years before we managed to save and buy the property that we're in. The challenge we've got now is when we moved in back in 2013, the service charges were £180 a month, and now they're £440 a month.
£440 a month?
£440 a month.
And that's on top of your mortgage?
That's on top of the mortgage.
Wow.
So that's not, if you're buying £1 million penthouse or something,
yeah.
And you've got a swimming pool and a concierge. We have a tiny little pokey lift. The floors are brick. The floors are concrete. The walls are brick, exposed brick. It's been a lovely little place to live, but it's a really basic, by London standards.
What are you getting for your £440? I mean, what do they say they give you for the £440 a month?
I mean, well, it covers a really good example of what they one of the costs and how ridiculous it is. So when we moved in, we were paying £200 a month for communal cleaning. So the block of my development, the actual block I'm in, so the doorway serves 7 flats. So it's a tiny little block within a bigger development with a few hundred flats in. And the communal cleaning was £200 for the year. And now, sorry, that's a lie, £200 for the month. And now it went up
£200 a month for communal cleaning.
£200 a month communal cleaning to clean the outside of the block. Fine. Then by 2018, that cost was £400 for communal cleaning. It's now £800, and at one point it was £1,200 until myself and some neighbours got together, challenged. Honestly, the sort of impact when I work, my husband works, we've now got 2 little kids in our 2-bedroom flat because it's taking an age to save for the next property, because obviously we're paying, it's like we're wasting this money. And honestly, it feels like we were these bright-eyed early 30-somethings, I'm now 43, who were so excited to afford our first place. My parents are not in a position, my mum was a teacher, she's retired. They weren't in any position to help us financially, so we did it all ourselves. So proud of ourselves. And now we just feel like idiots, honestly.
And you can't, it's hard to get out of it because presumably no one's going to want to buy a flat not many people will if they're paying £440 a month in service.
So the neighbours downstairs had to, bearing in mind the sorts of amounts I've said the flats cost, the neighbours downstairs took nearly £50,000 off the price of their flat as a kind of, to offset the service charge.
And is it to is it developer that you're paying?
So I'm going to name them because they're terrible.
Please don't.
Can I not name them? Okay,
because then we'll have to go and get their right of response and everything.
So I won't name them, but they are no, that's fine. That's tempting as it is. I won't.
I'm sure.
They are but actually, what's interesting, and this is another area that just needs to be looked at. So they're a well-established, social housing provider within London, and they are positioned as a not-for-profit, even though the chief exec You can imagine the work we've done to just try and look at things and challenge. And the chief exec earns over £330,000 a year. That's nice, isn't it?
That sounds nice, doesn't it?
For this not-profit.
Thanks to your communal cleaning charges of
you know what I mean?
thousands of pounds a month.
So, and they're a not-for-profit organisation, so the response is always, and when you're trying to do this on top of a full-time job, kids, pickups, everything else, I've spent hours in the evenings, like, writing letters to ask. It just wears you down. You get to a point where you're like, you just pay the money. It's almost like they're a machine and they know how to grind you down. A bit like when you're trying to get insurance back, for a holiday that went wrong.
They just rely on people giving in.
Exactly. They rely on you giving in. They rely on you running out of the time and energy and mental strength.
And you can't get away from it because you lose money because no one else will want to pay that. It's a joke. It's also something the government said they were going to reform and then didn't. They haven't to the extent that people wanted them to or expected them to. Again, we'll keep an eye on that one. Louise, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. People making that level of money while you are forced to cough up ever-increasing sums to fund their nice cushy salary. Thank you for calling in, Louise in Southwark. The whole concept of leasehold is just balmy, isn't it? Our flat's leasehold. Every year, got to be clear, nowhere near the sums Louise is talking about. Every year, this bit of paper turns out demanding hundreds and hundreds of pounds for some big corporate entity because they happen to own, the bit of land that the house or the flat that we live in is built on. It's just mad. Louise, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse.